According to the United Nations Industrial Organization, Nigeria generates over 32 million tons of waste annually, with plastic accounting for 2.5 million tons of that. Of course, the alarming issue of poor waste management is, of course, very important concern for residents of not just only the Federal Capital Territory, but almost all the 36 states in Nigeria. Let's put some perspective into this, and I'm now being joined in the studio by Suleiman Adama. He's the General Secretary of Waste Pickers Association of Nigeria. He joins me right here in the studio. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. While that report was going on there, you were nodding your head. Talk to us about how this thing is done. I mean, what are the benefits of harnessing waste?
Wow. Thank you very much once again. It's my pleasure to be here again.
Thank you so much.
And waste management as a whole here in Nigeria is a new thing. Let me say it's a new thing in terms of we Nigerians knowing the value. You know, if you can remember, just some few years back, we whatever we use, we throw away. But as we all know right now, as you see around major cities in Nigeria, a lot of people are becoming very much aware of the potential and the value of waste. And that is what has given birth to my association, which is the Waste Pickers Association of Nigeria. And we are doing a lot of our members across the 36 states of Nigeria, including the FCT. We are doing a lot to make sure that we pick wastes from the environment, and then not only picking from the environment to also add value to it, thereby creating a lot of opportunities, a lot of income for our workers, and also revenue for government. So for waste management here in Nigeria, a lot is being done by my association and others. Waste management, circular economy has come to stay. And I want to assure you that with adequate support from stakeholders, especially the government, we are going to be doing more. Yeah.
All right. One concern is the fact that we generate more waste.
Yes.
In Nigeria. If you look at the quantity we generate, it's so huge. But in terms of collection, there is low collection rate. How is the organization doing to, bridge this gap?
Yeah, okay. Honestly, for us in the association, WAPAN, we do not even agree with the figure being bandied around 32 million tons. It's far way more than that. Yes, that is, we are talking from our own experience and the experience of our members across the country. It's very much more than that. And we are working with the National Bureau of Statistics. They visited us about twice, and we are giving them the necessary data for them to upload or to update their own data so that they can put it out there to Nigerians and to the world. So 32 million tons, honestly, you can get that from just 3 or 4 states. Wow. So that's to tell you the magnitude of the waste that we generate. One thing I would tell you straight away is that the governments of Nigeria, starting from the federal government to the state governments, local governments, they are yet to key into the issue of waste management in this country. And I would like to use this opportunity to appeal to government to come sit down with our association and other stakeholders so we can sit down and let them know, because they say information is power. So we would like to sit down with them and, let me just use the word, educate them on the potential of the waste economy, as I will put it, or rather the circular economy. So a lot for us, we have been approaching a lot of government officials. If you remember, in the FCT here, the waste picking activities here have been banned by the Honorable Minister. And of course, we wrote to the Honorable Minister that we need to have a sit down with him to give him facts and figures. And thank God, just last week, we were invited by the Honorable Minister to come and sit down and talk. And but unfortunately, as you are all aware, there is a strike. The FCT administration, they are on strike. So this meeting was supposed to hold on Tuesday, but it has to be postponed. So these are the kind of efforts that our association is making to make sure that we sit down with government especially to help in realizing the aims and objectives of our association. Right away, I will tell you that waste picking activity generally is a function of space. So if you don't have enough space, you are not able to actualize. So what we are using this opportunity to appeal to government is give us enough space, serviceable space, like you do to mechanics, like you do to
other artisans,
building materials and all of that. We have them all over. Do the same thing for us. Give us a hub where we can operate. And then you will see the kind of benefits that will come out from such a place.
Absolutely, very, very important.
Yes.
A part of something that you mentioned is about this waste picking being banned in FCT.
Yes.
I want us to speak to that because concerns were raised about some of your members, maybe whether there's no proper regulation.
Yes.
Many of them are not properly profiled.
Yes.
It's part of the reason that was raised. Have you been able to address that now?
Yes, immediately that ban came into effect. In fact, the ban has been there. So the present minister came on board and he issued another brand because of so many things that had happened, things that are not very palatable in terms of robberies and crime generally and all of that. Of course, as an association, we support the government in that because no right-thinking citizen will support any kind of crime or criminality in the space. So we are very much in tune with the minister. But what we are saying is this: since we have an organization like WAPAN, the government should sit down with us. We have been making efforts to sit down with government, to let government see reason why they should sit down with us. But like I said earlier, the minister just, like I told you, invited us for a sit down last week. We were supposed to sit with the minister on Tuesday, but unfortunately the strike thing came up. So you can see the kind of effort that we are making.
Absolutely.
And the government is already saying that, there's an umbrella body. So, so once we sit, we should be able to now lay our own programs for them to see. Because what we want to do as an association is already we are doing. We are registering. We have a database for waste pickers. We have an app that we have developed. Yes, we have developed an app, and which we were ready, or rather we are just waiting for that opportunity to present it to the authorities. So we are doing a lot in that regard, and all we are waiting for is just that window for us to be able to showcase.
All right. I hope you're carrying some of your members outside the FCT in Lagos, in Kaduna, in Kogi, in Kano, and other places. You're carrying them along so that it's not that you're addressing the issue in the Federal Capital Territory why we have issues festering in other states.
The issue of the FCT is very peculiar. Why we are addressing the FCT issue is because aside from Borno State, it's only the FCT that has come out openly to ban the activities of our members. Borno State did the same some time ago, but we are happy to say that Borno State have stepped down and they are working with us and other stakeholders. So it's only FCT. We are home and dry with
every
other state. Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's impressive. What about in terms of infrastructure? Would you have adequate infrastructure to manage the waste that your members are collecting? How are you going to, discuss that? Of course, perhaps when you meet the Honorable Minister, it should be part of your discussion, isn't it?
Definitely. Like I said earlier, first and foremost, what we'll ask them to do is give us space to operate. Give us a hub. And once we have a hub that is serviced in terms of the roads, in terms of power, we would like to have power to that place because our machines that we use for recycling There are heavy
duty
machines that require power, public power. Most of us operate right now using our own generators, which is very expensive.
Absolutely.
So with that kind of understanding, you give us our space, you make it serviceable in terms of infrastructure and all of that. And then we are able to take in more. We are able to do more. As it is now, we waste pickers, we are able to pick just about 30% of the recyclables, leaving almost 40% out there because of lack of space and then work the tools for working, like trucks, like safety gears and all of that. You know, so with those kind of things in place, we are able to do more. We are able to collect more, and that will be helping the environment. Employment will be there. Revenue will be there for government because already you have them in a net. Absolutely. You know where to come. You know where to collect your tax. You know how to tax us. So if government is able to do that, it will be a win-win situation.
Yes, indeed, it will be a win-win situation. Of course, jobs will be created.
Exactly.
A lot of things that we import will be produced here locally, which is indeed very, very. And I hope that government will indeed also do more. What in terms of dumping of waste is also indiscriminate dumping is also another issue.
Yes.
I don't know whether there's any effort to address that. Does it really concern your organization?
Well, immediately I would say yes and no, because the issue of dumping, it's something to do with either ignorance or lack of knowledge of the damage that whoever is dumping is doing. So in addition to what we are doing as an association, when we have the opportunity, we do some kind of awareness, community awareness. And how do we do that? We go communities, we put them together, their leaders, their youths, and all of that. We hinge it on benefit. We like to we make them know that, look, if you have this 1 kilo of plastics, for example, if you give them to us or any of your collectors, this is what you get. So we kind of incentivize our people to know that just throwing this thing away, apart from the damage to the environment, if once you stop that, it will help the environment. And then when you bring them to us, you make money.
Absolutely.
And I want you to know that when you go around now, you hardly find one plastic bottle lying down somewhere now.
Absolutely.
If you go around, because the awareness is there.
Yes,
there now. People now know that, look at women. You see them carrying, you see boys, everybody. So.
Yes, it is quite a whole lot of opportunity in that sector indeed, and I know you're doing a very good job there.
Thank you.
And we also wish you the best. But let's move on now. Look at the benefit now of this proper waste management now to the Nigerian blue economy. Of course, we have a new ministry now, brand new ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, created by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu more than a year ago. How much of support are you getting from that ministry? Because your ministry, your association is very key to the success of this ministry.
Yes, thank you very much for that question. I would like to make you understand that the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy is very dear to me personally.
Of course, you have worked with the MASA before,
exactly. So coming
you know
from
the details.
MASA, I know the importance of the marine environment to us. And in fact, that was the background I had from the MASA was what propelled me, encouraged me to join
the association.
Because I remember when we were there, it was always, how do we curtail, how do we stop the inflow of plastics into our rivers, into our oceans. So WAPAN gave me the benefit of helping in that direction. You see, so what we are doing, we are doing a lot as an association. And I must give kudos to all waste pickers, whether you belong to WAPAN or not, for the great job that we are doing. You can just imagine, we talked about 32 million tons waste that we are generating. You can imagine that we are able to collect about 30% right now, and we can do more. So what happens to the balance of this 32 million? It all still end.
Absolutely.
So we still have a lot of work to do. And talking about the new ministry, we have put together a letter to the Honorable Minister. We'll be paying a courtesy call on the Honorable Minister very soon. As soon as they give us the clearance and the approval, we will be there to congratulate him and also to put before him our programs for stopping inflow of plastics from the hinterland to the oceans. Yes.
Which is indeed also very important as well. It's quite a whole lot of work to do in that regard, because for us to have a clean oceans, clean environment, we need to mop up our waste.
Very well.
And instead of allowing them to go into that. Let's discuss the ministry now and see what do you think should be the priority areas for this new ministry. We understand there's a new policy that has already been approved, a national policy of marine that has been approved by the federal government.
Yes.
What do you think should be the priority areas? Nigeria don't seems to hearing more. I mean, it's just that the ministry was created, but the activities is kept away from Nigerians.
Anyway, so for the ministry, I'm not the spokesperson for the ministry, so
absolutely.
My good friend is there, Bolaji Akinola. He's the new spokesperson for the Honorable Minister, and he will himself being a maritime journalist. He is very good at his job and all of that. So, just to answer what you, the ministry, like anything that is new, a lot of things are being put in place. A lot of work is being done underground, and we are very happy that the new national policy is out, even though it is yet to be implemented. So what I would say is immediately the new ministry should quickly put in place an implementation plan for the new policy. So that is what I think they should put together. There should be a committee or something, or a council that will actually drive the implementation of the new policy. The policy, I must say, has captured everything that we expect for a blue economy country like Nigeria to start off. So the issue now is, how are they going to implement, how are they going to make sure that the policy works for Nigeria and for Nigerians? Because the economy, the blue economy, is very huge, and we should take immediate advantage of the blue economy.
Do you think the ministry is coming late? Other successive government didn't deem it fit to look at that part.
Yes.
Maybe Nimasa, where you are coming from, were actually saddled with that responsibility. But do you think the creation of that ministry is coming late at this point in time?
Well, I would say it's better late than never. So let us say this is the right time. It is okay. Many countries in Africa, I don't think there are more than 2 or 3 that are already implementing the blue economy. The blue economy is a new concept. It's not too, it's just some few countries around the world that are actually implementing it, like Seychelles, like the developed countries of the UK and co. But it's just coming down here. And it's good that we have keyed in, and we are now ready, let me say, we are ready to start implementing the blue economy in Nigeria. And once it is done, with the political will is there to implement to the letter the letters and spirit of the policy as I have seen it. Honestly, in the next few years, it will be a very good alternative to oil revenue, and a lot of employment will be created, a lot of money will be made, and all of that. So we believe that the minister, he might be slow, but we can see that
the progress are being made.
Yes, we are making some progress in that regard.
All right. Do you think in terms of managing our aquatic infrastructure, which is also very, very important. Do you think the ministry as it is now is well positioned in terms of capacity to be able to deliver that? There's quite a whole lot that we can get there in terms of revenue generation and so on and so forth.
Yes, for the aquaculture, which is a very important component of the blue economy, I will tell you straight away that we don't have much infrastructure on ground. A lot of things, negative things are happening on our waters. A lot of illegal fishing,
piracy,
illegal fishing going on across our waters. And I was opportuned when I was in Port Harcourt, when I was a port services controller in Port Harcourt for NIMASA. I went around, I have a database of all the ports and jetties all over the Niger Delta. And I found out that years back, during the Goan regime, we had fishing jetties. That is, they were built specifically for trawlers, fishing jetties. That is only their function. That's fishing. And I went there somewhere in Port Harcourt, and it's an abandoned place. We have it also somewhere in Akwa Ibom, abandoned. You see, so we can have such jetties revived and more built to be able to harness the potential of the fishing in this country. You can imagine like a country like Nigeria, with all the water resources we have, both inland and ocean. You can imagine that we still import fish. We still import more than half of the fish requirement of this country, which will not be so. We should be able to engage in serious aquaculture and even export fish from this country. Smaller countries like Mauritania and Co., the sardine that you buy and eat, if you look at it, it's from Mauritania.
Absolutely.
How many are they? What do they have? They don't even have up to half of what we have in this country. But you can imagine they are making a lot of money from the fish industry. So Nigerians can do better.
Indeed, Nigeria can do better. If you talk about, especially this fishing industry, is a very big market, but it doesn't seem we're actually doing it the right way and the proper way it should be done. So what do you think the ministry should do in that regard? I think there's a whole lot of work before the new ministry and of course the minister as well. What do you think should be done if you go to the Niger Delta, although despite the, like you rightly said, the water, part of the water there is somehow contaminated with the oil exploration and so on and so forth. It's cut across that Delta, Bayelsa, Port Harcourt, and of course all those areas. What do you think should be done? If you go to a state like Kogi State, Lokoja, where you have another big river, the confluence of River Niger and Benue there, is also an area that can be harnessed. So much fishing is taking place in those places illegally, without regulations. What do you think can be done in this regard? Well,
government is there to ensure compliance with laws. The laws are there. If anybody goes against the law, you have enforcement. You have the law enforcement agencies. We have what we call the marine police. Growing up, I know that the marine police used to be very, very active. But today, they are, I don't know, they are there, but...
are they complicit?
They don't know. You see, if the work environment is not conducive, you will find people being, lackadaisical and not doing their job. If they are properly motivated, I'm sure they will do their jobs in terms of enforcement and in terms of doing their job as the custodians of our waterways. So I believe that the marine police can be rejigged and given the necessary support for them to do their job. A lot of the artisanal fishermen, they should also be encouraged, So I remember many years back, if you are traveling from Kaduna to any part of this country, you stop at Lokoja, the first thing you are looking for is fish. Where is fish? In fact, one we will buy and eat, and the one that we will buy and take home. But these days, you pass through there, what you find there are just small, and this because part of the fishing culture is regulation. There are times that you will tell the artisanal fishermen not to fish.
Fish, absolutely.
And what do you do, like they do in Mauritania? If, for example, if they say 1 year you are not going to fish, the government has something they will give to you that will keep you off the river. You can't tell somebody who makes
money
from fishing on a daily basis, and you tell him 1 year don't fish. Where will he get income to take care of his family and his needs? So what you do is you said, okay, don't fish for this period of time, but for that period we are going to give you this, I'll give you that. And also you can train them in other areas like vocations. You can be a fisherman and be a vulcanizer. You can be a fisherman, be a tailor, be a fisherman and be a commercial driver and all of that. So government can come in and make these things happen. And then they will say, okay, we are not fishing for this period of time, but I have another vocation that will take care of me. So,
with your closeness to the government, you work with NIMASA, you're also close to the Marine Ministry. Do you think that capacity and potential is there for us to be able to put up this kind of regulation that you mentioned? I mean, what you said is what is in line with global best practices.
Exactly. Like I always say, the political will is important. In this country, we have a lot of potential. We have a lot of professionals. We have a lot of good people. So all we need to do, let there be sincerity of purpose on part of government and other stakeholders. And Nigerians will jump at it. Nigeria will put in their best. You understand? We have parastatals under the marine and blue economy who are saddled with these responsibilities. We have the NIOMR, the Institute of Marine Research in Lagos. We have the Federal Department of Fisheries. You know, they are all there, both at the federal and at the state levels. Most of them, you go around them, you find that they are more or less doing nothing because the push, the encouragement is not there. We are all looking at oil and gas. Nobody's looking at all these things. They say, is it into fisheries? I beg, you know. So there's that. So this is fishery is a product that keeps a lot of countries going.
Absolutely. Some countries rely on fishing alone as their revenue. Absolutely.
So we can do the same thing here, but government must show some seriousness and sincerity of purpose. Purpose
indeed, which is very important. Another area I want to look at is the shipping sector.
Yes, shipping.
This is very important as well. We have NigerianShippers Council.
Yes.
I don't know how closely related they are with the ministry and, of course, yourself, who is also involved in terms of waste management.
Well, the NigerianShippers Council, they are a parastatal under the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. And their major mandate, core function is to ensure that the shippers, that is the cargo that you as a Nigerian wants to export, your interests are fully protected, that you are not, cheated whether by the importing country and that you pay a fair price for your cargo and the shipping and all of that. So that's what they are set up to do. Absolutely. Yes. So as a council, they are doing their bit. A lot of things is happening. They are the port regulators, so they are doing their job.
Indeed, and they are doing their job, and it's quite a whole lot for the ministry to, to oversee in terms of oversight function now, or how some of these agencies under it are doing their. I'm sure NPA is also there as well,
of course,
and NIMASA, they are also under this very important ministry. Now, before we wrap up now, as we begin to drive home now, a foundation is being laid now for the ministry. I'm sure that is why a lot of activity is not really going on there. It's a new ministry, the new policy has been approved, and the foundation is being put in place now. But how do we be able to achieve sustainable development and growth which is very important. It's not enough for the minister to put in the foundation. The person coming after him is going to build on the same foundation, or is it coming with a fresh new idea?
Well, that is, we are being futuristic here.
Absolutely.
Well, you know how it is. Governments come, governments go.
Absolutely.
For now, what we know is what we have here now. So why don't we work with them? We will encourage them. We will continue to appeal to them to have even. In fact, I have to congratulate Mr. President, because for us in the maritime sector, we have been looking for this thing for many years, and he just came in quietly and created this ministry. Honestly, we are very happy about it, and we continue to give him a lot of kudos. So, but then he has given us. So it is left to us. We will not leave only the government to say, we as stakeholders, now we have to support, bring up ideas, give them alternative ideas, you know, sit down with them, conference with them, you know, and I'm sure they will listen to us, because already, let me quickly tell you too that I'm the executive director of the Blue Economy Resources Nigeria, which we found with my former colleagues from the NIMASA.
So that's interesting.
So we have the likes of Haji Alami Tumaka, we have the likes of Barrister Ojiji, myself, Alhaji Dikko Bala, and others. You know, so we are driving the blue economy from the private sector perspective, having left government. So we are putting things together too for the ministry, for us to sit and then rub minds and see how the private sector, because the private sector must drive this economy. And once you lay down the foundation is good, the incentives are there, private sector will come in. Because as you know, the blue economy, the sector is highly capital intensive.
Exactly.
So you need the private sector participation.
You need private sector, you need international partners and so many.
To come in and let's work together. But the environment must be conducive.
Indeed.
So we are driving that aspect.
Indeed.
Yes.
That is the best, the right way to end this interview. We wish you the best as you continue to lay the foundation and indeed continue to contribute to the growth and development of that very key sectors of the economy. Alhaji Suleiman Adama is the Secretary Waste Pickers Association of Nigeria. He was also a former staff of NIMASA. I must thank you so much for former controller at NIMASA. I must thank you for your time on Business Daily.
Thank you very much for having me.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, with that is a wrap on the show today. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll be back on Monday rather. I am Yusuf Akogu.